Hello, my loves, and welcome back to Along the Spiritual Journey. Conflict is inevitable. Conflict is the very first moment that the seed, meet the egg, and we have to burrow our way in. Conflict is a part of survival, but it's also a part of understanding a backstory. And I think a lot of times when people meet conflict, they become frustrated because it feels like, why can't they just see me? And that's where I think a lot of times, at least me as an expert, I've started to recognize that everyone is an avatar on their own level, where they have to be reborn again and reborn again and reborn again within a certain level of emotion that they, again, I always go back to last timeline, last past life, whatever you choose to believe, because whatever you were let's say you have a parent who is very reactionary and they just pop off, pop off, pop off. What type of kid do you think you're gonna get? You're gonna get two kids for the most part. You're gonna get the kid who pops off back, or you're gonna get the kid who shuts down because they don't want to even go head to head with that energy because it's such an overflow. And this is where you get the whole ebb and flow of like resistance versus going with what you know is easy for you to deal with. And I think that's fair in conflict. But I also want people to remember that conflict is simply block trauma that needs to be resolved. It doesn't need to be resolved with you necessarily. Don't get me wrong. I've seen people, have met people where they are stuck in their trauma and they are arguing with the world and no one is even arguing back. But sometimes for me, I like to watch and see what type of story they're telling themselves because it tells me how far along the journey they are. Like if you really play along with this spiritual journey, you're going to start to see when people say you become aware, you can't stop seeing it. You're never going to stop seeing it. You just choose to either interact or act like it's not there and make your own dystopia. I choose to find the humor in it because I know that there's been plenty of times where my avatar did not want to participate in this journey, but it's like, well, stuff is going to keep happening to you and around you. So you may as well duck, dodge, and make sure you don't get hurt in the process. And then when you do that, you get a few, what we call rewards and spiritual enlightenments and ascending and all these things that make us feel lighter because we know we are not this dense energy. We are not our flesh, but we're supposed to respect our flesh and take care of it. This is the internal conflict. Outer conflicts happen because it's, again, stored trauma. And sometimes you just kind of have to watch how you react and how you respond. And that's how you pass that checkpoint because it's not always about you popping off, but sometimes you might have to because we're all somebody's karma, which creates our own dharma.